So let's just start from the beginning. The ego, often you'll hear ego I, right? It's an ego. And so in physical reality, in order for the duality to function, I've got to have two perspectives. And everything is, since it's a mirror, since it's a reflection of me, I have to be able to have two things going on to have balance and to have harmony. So I have the self I, and then I have the ego I. The ego I is just the aspect of self. It's one of the parts of ourselves we all have. And it is designed to deliver physical reality in content. The content of what physical reality is. Oh my God, you cannot kill the ego. There's egodeath, and this is the inner adolescent's response to the ego, because the ego has fucked me over so many times that I hate it. I hate that part of myself, really, because it's not separate from you, and you're hating on a part of yourself. When I say ego, most of the time it's gonna be negative, right? Because what the ego has done, because humanity, as it's been developing, has not understood that you're a God being. You're not understanding that this is my job to contextualize the situation. And what's happened is you've allowed your ego your whole life to contextualize everything. And so your ego actually hates you because you've been giving it a job. You've been leaving a responsibility to it that it has no ability to do. So it's terrible at it. And the only way that it can do it at all is to take your beliefs, and because it hates you, it takes your negative beliefs and then it uses them against you. And the way that looks is, let's just say, well, I'll just give the example I like to give because it's coming in my mind. You're having a party at your house, and you have a beautiful home, and you have white shag carpets in your house, and everybody's drinking red wine, and it's just a great night, and all of a sudden somebody shows up at your party that was uninvited, and you don't really care for this person, and this person eventually spills red wine on your carpet. So the negative ego, since you don't like the person and you have a belief that the person's a shithead or whatever your belief is around this person, the negative ego is going to give it to you. That fucking bitch, she did it on purpose. And since you have a belief that she's a freaking bitch, you're going to be like, yeah, I hate that. And you're going to get involved with the negative ego, and you're going to align with it. And since the negative ego is using your ability to choose against you, because it's the only way it could punish you. So it takes your belief, gives it to you, and because it's your belief, you agree, it gets you all fired up about the situation, and you go down the avenue not realizing you're the one contextualizing everything. Because if the positive ego was functioning properly, if your ego was functioning properly, it would say, there's red wine on the carpet. What would you like to do about it? That's it. No framing it, no giving you, oh my God, because the negative ego, if you're aware of your ego and you're utilizing your ego properly, you would catch that. You'd say, that fucking bitch. And you'd be like, ooh, I got a belief that she's a freaking bitch. I need to change that. Let me make a note. Thank you. And let me get something to clean that up with. And you move on. That's how you use your ego. Because your ego is going to give you the language for unconscious programs. You're not conscious of everything, but your ego has been watching you through a lens your whole life. It knows everything you don't like, everything that's going to bother you, everything that's going to diminish you. And so what the way that you understand the negative ego is, it only talks to you when you're at a pinnacle of success or you're in the shitters of despair. Because when you're in despair, it's going to say, you're a loser. And you're going, I am a loser. I know I'm a loser. You're right, I'm a loser. Because I have a belief I'm a loser. Instead of recognizing, oh my God, I feel the pain of what you're saying to me. Must have a belief. Otherwise, I wouldn't feel this way when I call myself a loser inside. And you're like, I'm not a loser. Let me reframe that bullshit. I'm not a loser. I'm a winner. I'm a winner. I'm a winner. No, you're a loser. Not because you're a loser, but because you have a belief that you are. And your negative ego is telling you that you do, because when it calls you, you can feel the pain of that belief. And the other place it tells you is when you're killing it and it's like, yeah, you're the bomb, you're the man, do it again, do it again. And it pushes you off the edge of the cliff. It makes you go farther than your beliefs can handle. It pushes you out of your zone, and then that's why the whole tale of Icarus is about the adolescent and its hubris and the ego pushing you beyond your boundaries. Because the ego knows if I can push you past your boundaries, you'll fail. If you're already failing, I can make you stay there longer because I hate you. So once you start contextualizing your own world with your own choices, what happens is the ego starts being healed. Because at first the ego is going to say something negative to you, and you're going to catch it, and then you're not going to react the same, because just being conscious of that, you're not going to feel the same. You're not going to take that in and go, oh my God, I'm such a loser. And you're going to go into self-pity and martyr and all the places you go with that belief. You're going to hear it and you're going to go, oh, I have a belief. I can feel that belief. I'm going to change that. And so as you remove that from the negative ego, what you're doing is you're healing the negative beliefs you hold about yourself, firstly. And secondly, you're taking away the responsibility from your ego. You're taking responsibility for contextualizing, and now it doesn't do it anymore. And it also learns that you're not going there anymore. So it starts giving you the content, and then you start seeing the content for what it is, just content. It's my job as an awakened human being to contextualize the information. Like everybody's doing constantly. Most of the arguments going in the world right now, the dogma is going from one side to the other side and no dialogue. If you watch two people from the outside, you're like, oh my God, it's one ego going after another, both trying to destroy both sides. And as long as your ego can keep you in dogma and not dialogue, it's winning. So your ego is not to be killed, it's not to be slammed, it's to be healed. Just like the child in you, just like the adolescent. You need healing. And you can't separate from yourself and heal at the same time. You can't get rid of your negative ego. You have to heal that ego. And it's not that hard either. You've just got to understand it's a part of myself. And if I already think the ego is shitty and bad, I've put a belief in that it's a piece of crap and I don't want to deal with it, how can I get in there and heal it when I'm holding that belief? It's like lots of religions are like, kill the ego, get rid of the ego. No, you got to heal that. You cannot separate and heal at the same time. That's what pain comes from. Pain is a synergy between separation from and longing for. When those two things combine, it creates pain. If you remove one of those, the synergy breaks down and it's not the same thing anymore. All you have to do is recognize, where am I separating or what am I longing for? Fulfill the longing or stop separating, stop feeling separate. It's not true you're separate. Everybody knows nobody's separate. Nobody's, we know that, but we don't really know what to do with it. The way that you become closer in the world, the way that you start honoring yourself and truly healing, to not reframe, not need to reframe, to really becoming from an authentic self in real time, requires that kind of awareness. And at first, it's a little bit like, wow. But just recognizing that is going to change your whole life. Just recognizing, let me not separate from my ego. Let me listen for the contextualization. Let me take responsibility for that contextualization so I can understand myself better. So I can quit judging people for what they're holding. Their negative ego is doing the same thing to them. And they don't know it either. But as soon as you recognize that, there's nothing to fight with the other person, and their negative ego can even calm down because your negative ego is not going to war with theirs. So just recognizing that, even if you don't know what to do about it, you'll get the information. Everything in physical reality is energy information. Now, I want to say, energy in formation, not one word information. It's forming according to your constructs. So once I start learning that it's me that measures all the things. And when I can get in that space between me and the thing and alter it, the thing comes back differently. And then it never comes out of me the same again. So I don't even need to see that pattern again. So I hope that clears up some of the ego stuff. And I bet you that's the shortest version of ego you've ever heard. And I guarantee you it's the most truthful and honest. Heal your ego. Don't kill it. Don't separate from it. Don't judge it. Just let it be the beautiful I that it was always meant to be.